Ah,
Ah, how's my rubric family today? Happy Saturday for all of you. Hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. And see, I have Jean Paul Egg right here. I love the bandana. This is Juan talking to all of you. And first of all, like usual, thanks for watching the videos. We have a lot of content this week. Jean Paul has AEW Dynamite, and we have also our NXT review. Great shows, by the way. And we have a small video talking about CM Punk and his returns to WWE backstage. Where does he go from there? All the stuff that like his return to the professional wrestling world, not as a competitor, not as an active wrestler, but as a figure that involves professional wrestling. All of those thoughts from John Paul and myself are there in the channel. So thank you to everybody that is subscribing to the channel. Thank you to the new members. Welcome. Always let us know how we feel. All let us know how you guys want us to improve and what kind of things you want us to cover. I just have a text message, Mr. John Paul, from Moschino asking if we can cover Impact.
I mean, I'll definitely do like big shows like the Slammiversary and all that stuff, but I'm not doing weekly shows.
I
That's
yeah
too
that yeah
crazy.
we is like
That's
we
too
need a little
crazy.
bit of a break, but like
Yeah.
see, Jean Paul promises we can do big shows. So Jean Paul
Yeah,
and
I'll
I
do
will do that.
pay-per-views if I can. I mean,
Pay-per-views.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna pay for them. If I can somehow get my eyes on them in another way, I won't say
We
how, but
will
if I
we
can
will
somehow
do
find them, then I'll do it.
yeah we will
Otherwise,
do shady websites. We will do
yeah, and
shady
that,
websites
or
for you.
I'll read a Bleacher Report or something.
Yeah,
But
but like what I can really tell you, Skino. First, say hi to you. We can do. I can promise you to dig into more of the Impact show because I do watch it every
Ken
now and then.
Shamrock,
Ken Shamrock, like Jean
yeah,
Paul Egg loves
Sabu.
Ken Shamrock. I love Ken Shamrock. So Sabu is there. Rob Van Dam is there.
Mm-hmm.
His girlfriend that is really hot, she's there.
What,
So
Katie Forbes, I think her name is.
yeah, Katie Force is there. And we can try to like see that for you. Definitely. We can try even to dig into the NWA in the show
Oh, yeah, on YouTube.
on YouTube. But like I
Yeah.
said, give us some time and give us some. Let us organize a little better.
Mm-hmm.
So guys, SmackDown Live. SmackDown Live is what the reason that Jean Paul and myself are here from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Another show that the first hour was absolutely trash,
Yep.
completely terrible. The show didn't do anything for me until the almost like the last half hour of the show because the good stuff came towards the end.
Yeah, honestly, going back a couple weeks when they had the whole debacle in Saudi Arabia, they put on that amazing SmackDown, and that was one of the first SmackDowns where I actually had the opportunity to watch it, and I was like, I'm not watching this show. It's been awful since it moved to Fox. It's been awful. I
Mm-hmm.
skipped this week, and it was the best week of SmackDown in 2019. Everybody's saying, oh, like it's going to be so great going from here on forward, and we knew that that wasn't going to be the case because what do they do the following week? Baron Corbin versus Roman Reigns. They rebook the same main event and they book the same tag team match and they give the titles to the New Day
They did
and they
the
do
whole
all this.
entire show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just pretty much pushed it back or pushed it forward one more week and gave it to us. And they didn't, they with some Survivor Series stuff sprinkled in here and there, but SmackDown has just been awful. Like you said, it's been so awful. And the only good thing is now The Fiend is on SmackDown and then now his storyline with Daniel Bryan. But everything else on SmackDown besides that and the Survivor Series, which they screwed up that build tonight, I feel.
Oh yeah,
For
like
the women. The
what
yeah, when we'll get into that and when that segment
we
comes,
will
but
cover everything right here, guys.
yeah.
But like Jean Paul is saying, the show. This is the main problem right here. You have to open the show the very exact same way like you did last week.
Yep.
Baron Corbin, he has five guys that are carrying him, and he's like crown with his crown. He goes to
Yeah.
the ring and everything, and Dolph Ziggler, Bobby Roode are there, and Baron Corbin, he's like telling them that like he beat the big dog, like Roman Reigns has lost his touch, he's not the same anymore, and that he is his kingdom now.
Hmm.
It's not his yard. I don't think Baron Corbin in this kind of like gimmick is cool.
No, I don't like. I only like Baron Corbin in his like NXT gimmick, where he
Yeah,
came out kind of like how who was it, Damian Priest is now.
yes, yeah, he
Yeah,
has the same qualities of a
yeah,
Damian
yeah, kind of
Priest.
like that. But
Yes.
like I like I like that gimmick. The King gimmick was good right when the tournament ended because he actually was legit in the tournament.
Yes.
Everybody was like, "Oh God, like we don't want him to win," and he kept winning, and guys got eliminated, like Cedric Alexander, Drew McIntyre, Ricochet, all those guys, Samoa Joe, Cesaro, all knocked out of the tournament, and then he ended up winning, but all his matches were good, so everybody we kind of accepted it, and we said he deserved it, and
Oh
then
yeah, absolutely.
and then they just put him in this awful, creative role. He's going against Seth Rollins and all that other garbage. And then, now he's here on Smack. It's like the same feud with Seth Rollins, but now it's Roman Reigns.
It's
It's the
exactly the
same.
same
It's the
thing.
same thing, and it's like we've seen it before. We don't care. We know that coming. Like even a couple months ago, they said Vince McMahon was real hot on Baron Corbin. Then do something with him. Why didn't he beat Seth Rollins and win the title?
Yeah,
Then you build up a baby face to take him down. You could have did
that
something like that. If you're real hot behind him, why do you have The Rock come out and make fun of him with Becky Lynch?
and trash him the
Yeah.
way that like you
And
did.
you make him
Yes.
look like a jobber. Like that's
Yeah.
the one thing. If you're hot behind a guy, push him. Don't push him and then pull him back and then it just doesn't make sense to me. And they do the same thing with those other two guys. Dolph Ziggler, who is, I don't care what you say, who you are, if you're going move for move, hold for hold, just performance in the ring, Dolph Ziggler is one of the best guys in WWE. He could go to AEW and tear it down. He
He
chose
can
to
go
say,
anywhere.
yeah, he chose to stay there for whatever reason, the money, he's comfortable, whatever, that's his choice. But he is a loser in his current role. Bobby Roode, we say it on the channel all the time. NXT Bobby Roode, one of the best heels of all time in the
Thank you.
modern era of wrestling.
Thank you.
What do they
Thank
do on here? Robert Roode. Okay, Bobby Roode, when they called him up, ruined. He changed his mustache, changed his name. Okay, is this a new start? If it means he's going to be booked correctly, I'll take it. Nope.
you.
Chad Gable, they do nothing with that team. They had something, then they dropped it.
Yeah.
They put him with Ziggler, again, who, like I said, he was a loser. They put him with Drew McIntyre. They tried to do a little bit. They won the titles, then did nothing. They didn't do anything with that feud. He did nothing with Kofi. Those were all awful matches because
No.
the story wasn't there and we hated it. And, now they put these two guys together and they won the belts on Raw and they made them look legit for a little bit. And then
For
that was
like two
it.
weeks. For
Yep.
like 2 weeks. Yes. Yes.
And then I didn't even know these guys were on SmackDown, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, I didn't even know that because
And
when I
then when I
did the
saw him out
review
there, I
with
was like,
Ryan
oh, I
last
guess
week,
they're here.
he's the one that told me, yeah, they got drafted to SmackDown Live. I thought they were still part of Raw.
Yeah. So then, so you're putting all three of these guys who we think are losers to some extent together, and we already don't care. We don't care about these guys to begin with. It's not like it's three guys who we really care about, and you're putting them together. It's guys who we could really care less about, unfortunately. And, you know, are this whole thing, when I saw it, I was like, this is going to lead to probably some 6-man match. Like this is going to be some 6-man main event for the next 2-3 weeks, till Survivor Series.
And that's what happens.
Yep. And that's what happened. And that's
That's
yep.
exactly what happens.
And that's
Yeah.
the one thing too. No one's going to watch the show when they're this predictable.
It was so predictable, and actually, they give you so much trash.
Yep.
It's so trashy. Like, okay, Baron Corbin comes out. He calls himself. He names himself the captain for SmackDown for the
Mm-hmm.
Survivor Series team. The team is formed with Braun Strowman, Shorty G, Ali, Roman Reigns, and Corbin. He says that out of the five, there's two that look to him as the weak links, and
Mm-hmm.
that's Gable and Mustafa Ali. But he's going to make things better because he's going to put Roode and Ziggler in a match with them to fill that spot. Whoever wins gets that match at the Survivor Series. Match was really good. Why? Because
Yeah.
four of those guys are extremely
Yeah,
great.
like exactly like I said before. All these guys. Well, I didn't touch on these other two, but Mustafa Ali and Chad Gable. For their size, and not even for their size, against anybody, these two guys are amazing. And Bobby Roode, Robert Roode, whatever you want to call him and Dolph Ziggler are both amazing. And then you put these guys in the ring and you let them go, they'll show you you're amazing. But
Oh yeah.
but when they show you that, and then you put them in promo work, and their promos are awful. Dolph Ziggler, oh, it should have been me, it should have been me, it should have been us. Like, dude, we heard it before. Come up with a new promo.
Yeah.
Say we were the tag team champs on Monday Night Raw. We deserve some respect getting drafted over here.
Oh yeah.
You know, I just came off that boom off the top of my head. Why does this? It should have been me. It should have been me. Like nobody wants to hear that. But
It's so
yeah, like you said,
scripted. Yeah, like
these
give them
guys,
some freedom.
yeah, they need to let these guys actually be able to speak and win us over. And because some writer sitting there writing a script for these guys doesn't feel that same emotion being in the ring or even being a fan, because a lot of them aren't fans. They're hired from reality TV shows like The
Soap operas.
Bachelor,
Soap
so like
operas.
you said, soap operas. They're not sports fans or sports writers. But back to the match, like you said, all four of these guys are great, and it was a good, opening match, all things
Although the
considered.
most stupid thing happened before the match when the guy dressed in the
Oh
dog
yeah,
costume
yeah.
came
I
out.
guess we should touch on this.
Well, okay. That's the first thing
I'd
that like
rather overlook it,
when
but
people just walked out.
yep.
Just change the channel. They don't want to see this anymore. And that's why like sometimes as wrestling fans, there's when the mocks come to us. That's when people make fun of us right away because like how in the hell am I supposed to believe that this shit is
Yeah.
legit?
Imagine
How am
if
I
you
supposed to?
imagine okay, a Friday night now. This isn't on a Tuesday where you're laying in bed getting ready to go to sleep for work. This is a Friday night. You don't got to work the next day. Imagine your buddies over. You had a big TV, big like 30, 40, 50 what an inch TV. You have Smackdown on. You're all drinking, eating food, and somebody sees this. They're all going to make fun of you.
Oh yeah.
Like you said,
It's
they'll
like
be like, "You're a
is this
loser. What
what
are
you
you
like?
watching?"
Is
Yeah.
this what you watch? Is this what you enjoy? That's what I'm saying. It
Yeah,
is
like
absolutely
yeah, they
terrible.
belittle the fans. There's I understand it's like you want to keep it PG for the children's sake. You don't want to be swearing how AEW says like son of a bitch and prick and all this other stuff. I understand that. But you don't need to like make us think that treat us like we're stupid.
Oh yeah,
You
like
know, I can
that's the
understand it
thing.
keeping
Like
it PG, but there's a
I,
difference.
there's ways to like go
Yeah.
around it. You're absolutely right, and that's what I wanted to touch. Is like I love the point that you just made. Is like it's Friday night. Everybody wants to have a beer. Everybody wants to enjoy time with their friends, with the family, loved ones, whatever. You want to do whatever that's gonna make you feel at peace, at ease from your work week. And I feel that like being SmackDown being on Fridays, you need to even put much of a better show that you would have done on a Tuesday because what's the likelihood of people actually watching on a Friday night when they can actually go out and do stuff rather than just on
Yeah,
a Tuesday
exactly.
night when like you said you're just laying in bed. Hey, there's nothing really to do. I gotta get out for work. It's Wednesday, but see, and you just give me that,
Mm.
and then you wonder why the ratings are crap.
Yep.
You wonder why the show is even. We thought that Fox will do something about this. It's worse. They
Mm.
allow this crap to continue.
Like I said, the only good thing was that NXT, when it was like a majority, they took they took a bunch of guys from catering and a bunch of people from NXT, and then they built that show, and it was amazing. And
Oh
that
yeah,
shows you that all these guys in the back and everyone else can go. They can work. But
they
this
just
is
want an
WWE.
opportunity.
They took all these people in and they said, "No. You can't wrestle anywhere else. You can't do anything else. You're ours." And these guys are wasting away. Imagine if this was the territory days. I would love it because you'd have all this talent rotating. You'd see new matchups every few months. It would be amazing.
Oh yeah, it
Instead
would
of
be
seeing the
amazing.
same feuds on different brands over and over. Oh, how many times can we see the Miz and Dolph Ziggler, or the Miz and this person, or
Or the
Roman
Miz
Reigns and
against
that
Daniel
person?
Bryan. The
Yeah,
Miz
like
against Daniel Bryan because like they were teasing it throughout the
yep.
show. But I agree with you. Like these things need to change. Like make it more legit. Make it more
Mhm.
enticing to people. Like
Yeah.
like and it was so easy. 2 weeks ago you did it.
Yep.
2 weeks ago you were able to do that, and that's one of the things
That
that as a
shows
wrestling
that
fan.
shows that they don't care because there was such a good feedback from that episode. They had to have known.
Oh
They
yeah,
had to. They had
yeah.
to have known that we loved it, and that just shows that they don't care that we love it to the effect where they might care and they appreciate it, but they don't care enough to change their own agenda to continue that trend. If they still want Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin in the main event, that's what
They're
they're going
gonna
to do.
give us Roman Reigns
That's what
and
they,
Baron
they
Corbin.
they don't, even though they're like, oh, the fans really like vanilla cake. Well, we want to give them chocolate anyway.
Yeah,
They're they're
yeah.
they're aware, but they don't care.
You know what I think is like they know they can do better. They know they have the talent. They don't want to do it.
Hmm.
They just love to troll us. We are fans of a company that is in love of trolling us every single time.
Well, see, that's the thing. Why do I go back and I watch old NXT? Why do I go back and I watch ECW or I watch pay-per-views from,
Attitude
96,
Era or
97?
like,
Yeah. Yeah. Or 2003, 2002.
yes.
Because you don't want to be trolled. You don't want to have your intelligence be insulted. You want feuds and storylines that are new, refreshing. They make sense. There's build. There's drama. There's excitement. That's you don't feel that nowadays. You just see the same repetitive feuds, different guys, but it's all the same 10 guys. They just reshuffle the board.
Oh, yeah, like they never, and they don't have the ability to create more stars.
Mm-hmm.
They are there, but you don't use them.
Yep.
That's the main problem. You don't use them, and then when it start to getting over, even though they try for themselves, they stop that, and they kill it. They do
Yeah.
whatever it takes to push their own agendas, like you said. It is such a bad thing to see how many talents are wasted. And like you said, if they will be the territory days of, like, let's say if like the WWE will let the guys go, so many of them would already been in AEW right now. But of
Mm,
course, you don't want to feed the competition, and that's why
yeah.
you gotta log them, and then you gotta give them an amazing amount of money, crazy amount of money for them to stay. So I'm just tired. Anyway, let's just go back to
But
this.
yeah, so they had that mascot come out and they were like, "Oh, this is the big dog," trying to make fun of Roman Reigns. Then he eventually comes out and like we said earlier, then they set up this match and you have Corbin and Roman at ringside.
Yep.
And eventually Corbin tries to give Bobby Roode the scepter, to use. Romans goes, forget that because you knew these guys were going to get involved
Yes.
because you
Yes.
knew it all had to break down and go to shit. So then they could book the 6-man tag. Like I said, as soon as I saw those two guys,
6-man tag.
I thought 6-man tag. It's Roman and someone else. They called out Chad Gable and Mustafa Ali. So then I was like, there it is. There's the 6-man tag, and that's gonna probably. I think they said it's next week. I don't know if it's the main.
It is for next week.
I don't
Yes,
know if it's
because
the main event, but I
it
wouldn't
might.
doubt it.
It's going to be the
The
main
main
event.
event
That's what it's
for
going to do.
for
Already.
Survivor Series build.
While AEW today announced that like Ray Phoenix and Nick Jackson are going to have a match.
And that'll be the best match. That'll be
And
the
see,
best match of
two
next week.
guys can overpower 6.
hmm
Why? Because
So
we never seen that before.
So this match, it all like I said, he went to hand him the scepter. This whole thing broke down. Roman, he hits him like a drive by or whatever. He hits him on the outside. They're all going around. Eventually, spear Corbin, and then
Like
Mustafa
usual.
Ali. He pinned Ziggler with his 450, the inverted 450.
Inverted
Done.
450. Chad
Done.
Gable does a beautiful German suplex
Oh, Chad
combination.
Gable's amazing.
450. And they keep their place in the
Yep.
Survivor Series
What
team.
do you think of that? These two guys were the right ones to be
I,
in a Survivor Series?
because
Or
of
would you
course
have rather
Roman.
seen Ziggler and
I
Reed?
would much rather see Ziggler and Bobby Roode because I'm a fan of both. But you already convinced me why not? Because they're losers. They're
Yep.
and it's not they are losers. The word should be they're treated like losers.
Mhm.
Like
And I was
yeah,
just
go ahead.
for me the only thing with Chad Gable, Mustafa Ali and Chad Gable are like the same person where it's like they're the underdog baby face where like they get to the point where if they can just win this one match, then they'll be in title contention or they'll be, the number one contender or whatever, and they lose. And that's like what these guys are. So to me, I really like both of them, but I feel like they're both at the same spot. Like, are they going to do anything with them?
Oh
Because
no,
coming
yeah.
out of the King of the Ring, Chad Gable was just as hot as Baron Corbin. People liked him just as much. But what do? Then they change his gimmick. He looks like he's the freaking bench warmer on some basketball team.
Yeah.
Nobody care,
He looks
It's
like the kid that always wants to go in but
yeah.
never gets the chance
To
because of
me,
course he's Shorty
to
G.
me. Now, don't get me wrong. Jason Jordan was amazing. I loved American Alpha. I wish they would have been a tag team, never broken them up. Jason Jordan might have never got hurt, and they could still be tag team, still be a team together today. But they broke them up. Whatever. Chad Gable should have been the one to be Kurt Angle's son. I feel.
A lot of people say that
And then
because
you should have had a
his
match
moveset
where,
is more. He looks more like Kurt Angle.
and you should have had a match where it was him and Kurt Angle at WrestleMania, and Kurt Angle puts him over.
Yeah,
Imagine that. Imagine that. And no, instead we get Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin, and yeah, Baron Corbin, like you said, his gimmick is good, but like he's putting every main event storyline,
Hmm.
every big program is Baron Corbin, and
And
Baron
that's the
Corbin
see. And see,
even flashy. Yeah,
I just said how he retired Kurt Angle. How many people forgot? I'm
yeah,
sure a lot of people forgot he retired Kurt Angle, and that's sad because Kurt Angle to me is one of my favorites. He's probably in my top 10 favorites of all time.
he's
He's
one of probably
definitely
the best
he's
wrestlers of all
definitely
time.
he's definitely in my top 10, maybe top 5 who I think is the best in ring of all time. Especially his work in like TNA and Japan, like his post WWE run.
Oh yeah,
When
he's
he left
amazing.
WWE, his wrestling got way more intense.
Well, when it
Way
when it comes to Kurt Angle, like he actually presented ideas to the creative, but of course they
yeah.
said no, you gotta put over Baron Corbin.
Hmm.
In like 5 minute match, of course he does his own moves, the Olympic slam, ankle lock, but no, Baron Corbin got the win. Anyway, guys, the match, Chad Gable and Mustafa Ali, they get the win. They keep their spot for their team
Yeah.
on SmackDown.
I think they were the right guys as well. So I'm happy they got the win. I wish it wouldn't set up a storyline with these 6 guys, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. Then we have a backstage uh, promo, and then Baron Corbin said, "I'll make things right. I'll make things right. Don't worry about it. I'll right this wrong." And that's when they had the match set for next week's. Then we have the Firefly Funhouse. Bray Wyatt, our favorite guy, the Fiend, he did something different. He introduced the new Universal Championship. But of course, you said it and I said it. What are they going to do? They're just going to change the color of the strap. And what
Yep.
they do? That's what they did. Ocus Pocus, Sixter Abigail, Mandible Claw, Locus, boom. He's dressed as a wizard, a magician, and Expector Patronum.
Hmm.
Boom. The title looks exactly alike, but blue.
To me, I wish because do you remember when they did like the smoking skull
Yeah,
belt, the
yeah.
Brahma Bull
Brahma
belt,
Bull,
and
yeah.
then John Cena had the spinner,
The spinner.
and
Daniel
there was
Bryan
all
had like
yeah
the
the
Air
eco friendly.
Championship. Yes. Yeah.
I wait, and then Bray Wyatt, he got a custom belt made when he won the Universal Championship. It had like a brown, kind of beat up looking leather strap, really fit his gimmick,
Yes.
and it had like the cool his like eagle logo or whatever that is on the
Hmm.
side plates. It looked real badass. I knew that wasn't going to be the belt. People were making videos, everyone's like, "Oh, got to make a video immediately or got to, post news." Clearly this was a custom belt he made for himself. This wasn't going
Yes.
to be the new universal title. But I almost wish it was because I feel when you give a champion like a custom belt, especially if you do it for a guy who's going to hold the belt for a while and not just hold it for, 2 days and then lose it. If you're going to invest your time into a guy to hold the championship for a while, then let him have a custom belt like that because I think it makes it look cooler. And it's not like WWE doesn't have the money to make it.
That's my thing. Is like they don't really try to like do go those extents anymore.
Hmm.
They don't try to do cool things. See,
Yeah.
that's the one thing I will say WWE has
Hmm.
lost completely
Now,
is
and
they don't want to be cool again.
now I will say you couldn't have the people saying, "Oh, but what the fuck? You say you like the NWA belt, or like I like, the Winged Eagle, or
The
the
World
World
Heavyweight
Heavyweight
Championship.
Championship, and I like those old school belts." You're right, I do. But WWE doesn't because their design is a big W on the belt, and that design is ugly. So if that's
Yes.
what your belt is going to look like, give me a customized strap around the belt to make it look interesting because your logo is awful. And I hate seeing their belts. I think their belts are awful. The
Yeah, they're
NXT
all SIW. They're all freaking
the,
W.
the NXT belts are all right. The North American Championship is badass.
I do like that belt.
And all the NXT UK belts are amazing. I love all those belts. But other than that, I think the main roster belts are bad. And the Intercontinental Championship, that one is still pretty much, the same. It's a little different,
It's
but
kind of the old school
yeah.
like model that they have, yeah. But I agree with you, and that's the thing. Like we both said it, and I was like, why don't I even have a picture? And I'm gonna put it for you guys in the page that somebody did like a like the Photoshop thing, because like you can see that for the moment that Bray Wyatt is just going like this, and instead of like the blue belt, you just see the World Heavyweight Championship,
Yep.
and it's like this is what we all wanted.
Yep.
But of course, we said it that they're gonna change it to blue. There you go. No creativity, no surprise factor, no nothing new.
Hmm.
Just we call it like we could go there and we could be running that company,
Yeah,
and it will be
because
because it's so predictable.
like I said, they don't make it kid friendly. It's almost like a kid is running it. Like there's a 5-year-old, 10-year-old kid running the company and writing the creative versus, oh, we need to make our show kid friendly because children watch our show.
Yes, like
And
they
that's the
shouldn't
thing.
be
Yeah,
like the
that's yeah.
main audience that you're
Yeah.
targeting. It
Yeah,
should
that's
be like adults, but yeah, we can make some spots for
yeah.
children to learn. So
Yeah,
yeah, you're
because
right.
a parent is going to be watching this with their kid most likely.
Exactly. I don't see
So,
like a like maybe you and me were like that, but I was like when I was 8, yeah, I want to watch WWE, and I
yeah.
and I stole the remote. Yes, but that was me because I fell in love with it.
Hmm.
But I don't, as a parent, I will be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
My mom wasn't that way, so I'm sorry, mommy, if I you never let me. You always let me grab whatever channel I wanted. So thank you for that. But you're right. No creativity. I mean, the bell looks a little better in blue. What do you think? I do like it in blue.
Yeah. And I
Red
think it's
looks
like
absolutely
the
disgusting.
blue isn't so like as bright as the red was, and that bright red title looked like shit, I think. I
Yes.
mean, yeah, that's the best way I can put it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say, "Oh, no, it looked bad." To me, a strap should be black, brown. A strap should be a dark color because
It should. Yeah, I agree. I agree
it
with you.
should be a neutral color because if some guy is wearing green trunks, black's going to go with it. If he's wearing yellow trunks, black's going to go with it. Red trunks, black is a neutral color, it goes with everything.
Oh yeah,
Red's going to look like garbage on a lot of people's attire.
yeah,
It'll
that's what
look,
it
yeah.
was.
To me
It looked
it looked
bad.
like a really bad create a championship in the 2K games.
Yes,
Not in
you can do
2K20
it.
because that's not in 2K20 yet,
Oh
but
yeah. No, and you know what's sad is like even like Impact, Impact Championship looks even better. It looks
yeah.
more prestigious because it's like you said, it's like the black strap for a little bit of it because the title is huge, and then it's all gold. That's
Mhm.
how the title should be. And like I said to you, I don't really like. I'm kind of old school on that. I don't like the plates like to be like customized for every single champion. You just put the name on it. That used
Yeah.
to be for me legit. For example, see my name Kwanzo, and then I
Mm,
see coming up there, here, give me my belt. You'll look
mhm.
legit. But anyway, that was just my view on that. Then we have Drew Gulak and the B team going against Braun Strowman. See, once again, why do I need to care about this
Yeah.
crap?
Who wants to see this? Okay, so we're in Philly. Drew Gulak's from Philly. Let's just job Drew Gulak. Who, whether it's Vince or whoever, the beaver in the truck, whoever, somebody and gets a hard on from squashing
Drew
people in
Gulak.
their from not just Drew Gulak, people in their hometowns.
Oh
How
yeah,
many times when they're in San Jose? I think Bailey dropped the title in San Jose.
yes, to Alexa Bliss. Yeah,
How many times are people in their hometown and there's no such thing as a hometown rub? Now
it.
I'm not saying you need it if the storyline in the feud doesn't call for it, but what is this storyline in this feud? This is pointless. This is useless television. Nobody cares. Why do we need to see Drew Gulak why do we need to see him
Get
out there?
yeah, get the squash, get a kill.
And I remember with, Ryan, he said that Drew Gulak is over with this gimmick. You know what? Eugene was over with his specially disabled gimmick. And you know what happened to that poor guy? Every time when he left WWE and he wanted to wrestle somewhere, they said, "Oh, you're that guy with Down syndrome." They wanted him to do that. And he was a really talented wrestler, but he couldn't prove it because
Oh yeah,
he was pegged as this one gimmick. So
yeah,
what? Drew Gulak's over with his freaking slideshows or whatever he does, his PowerPoint presentations or whatever that crap is,
yeah.
and that's what he's going to get over as when the guy's a legit wrestler. He's stiff as the ring. He can, beat anybody up.
No, and here's the worst thing is like you're telling me that like you move your time slot when you came up to the ring like 2 hours before because remember he was the cruiserweight champion. So
Hmm.
you move your time slot 2 hours and then you become a jobber.
Yep.
You become crap. How do
That's what
you
I'm
go from like
saying.
did he even get a rematch or like an opportunity to call for a rematch for the cruiserweight championship? No. Right away he got called up again
That's
and
what I
did the
mean. It
same
should have
crap
been
that
a
he used to
match.
do with Enzo Amore.
Ain't I feel? I mean, now don't get me wrong. I love the match. I'd watch it again right now versus watching what we seen on Friday. But with Leo Rush and Angel Garza, that shouldn't have been the match right away. Have Drew Gulak go against Angel Garza. and
Yeah,
have Angel Garza beat Drew Gulak. Yeah, Drew Gulak's still going to lose, but at least he'll put on a good show and he'll still be over. Versus in this segment with Braun Strowman in the freaking B team,
yeah. Oh
which
yeah, that's
don't even get me started on a B team. I love Mr. Perfect. So does Ryan. Shout out to Ryan.
yeah,
But
Ryan.
Mr. Perfect, look what they did with his kid.
I'm telling.
Not that his son is half as good as his old man was. Sorry, but you know,
It
at
is true,
least they could do better with him than what they're
but have
doing.
some kind of respect, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't kill the poor guy.
As are like, I don't know, put them on NXT, put these guys back on NXT. NXT needs tag teams. They can feud with the Forgotten Sons and Breezango and do
But
something.
rename them.
Oh,
Rename.
yeah.
Change their name.
Yeah.
Don't the B team.
No,
That's
no,
absolutely
no.
trash.
And to
So
think,
yeah,
WWE sells a white T-shirt with a logo printed that looks like it was drawn in marker
with a
with a
B
B for $30.
for $30. The
When
same
you could
thing we've
when
said.
you
The
could
same.
go to Walmart, buy a $4 shirt, a $1 black marker, and make a custom one. That's the only one in the world because you made it. B team shirt.
B team, and then you know what? And you have enough ink in that marker, so you can put the WWE single,
Mhm.
like logo in the back, and you can say, yeah, it's
Yeah,
WWE
it's
product.
legit. Yeah, you
It's
could sell
legit.
it. You could sell it out of your truck in front of the
It's the
house
same.
show.
It's the same. Why, for example, I'm sorry, I have grown to like Kevin Owens.
Hmm.
Before I was never a big fan, but like I think he's legit now, and just mainly because how nice he was when we met him at WrestleMania, and he's been treated like crap lately. 2 years that he's been treated like absolute crap. His merchandise is shit too.
Hmm.
Okay, and a no.
I mean,
Fine.
I like the one where he had like the Monday Night Raw and
Yeah, or like the
logo and those
WrestleMania, or
ones.
like the
Yeah, the
WrestleMania, like
WrestleMania.
KO Mania and all of that. See, that's creative, at
And they
least.
had the cool one where he was the United States champion, but then he only had that belt for like a month.
Yeah.
So that
So,
shirt was useless.
and that once again, I'm just saying, like you just mentioned it. They don't have
Yep.
creativity. So it was pretty fast. Gulak is saying that he has a lot of lessons for Braun Strowman to learn, and then a 3-on-1 starts them, a match, a 3-on-1 handicap
Yeah.
match. But at the end of the day, what happens?
Well,
Of
what do
course,
they
Braun
do? They
Strowman
beat
takes the
on him
cup.
for 10 seconds. He throws them off. Wasted TV time. They wasted your time, my time. How do
Yes.
you go from you have that awful opening segment, you have a good match which doesn't really save it, but at least it was a good match, and then you have this awful segment. If you didn't change the channel by now, you must be brain dead or you must be like us and you watch it because you have to.
Well, we have a family that cares
Yeah.
about us, and that's why we do it. We do it for you because if I would have been, I would have been asleep. I have to take pills not to fall asleep, okay, or like 3 or 4 coffees so I can stay awake to watch this stuff because it's bad. It's absolutely terrible. Then moving along, WWE Tag Team Championship match: the Revival against the New Day.
Let me just say, going into this, I didn't watch SmackDown last week. I caught the notes, saw the results. I was so nervous because I thought they know. They all know how much we want to see this triple threat tag team match. They're going to screw us. They announced this match with the New Day. Oh, God, they're going to screw us. I saw the thing on WWE's Twitter. 7-time or 8-time champion, the New Day.
Yep, 7 time. Yep.
I was done. Then they announced, and I didn't, like I said, I didn't see the finish. I didn't know if it was a screwy finish or what. Then I saw they're doing a rematch. And I guess it was a clean victory last week. There was no screwy, it
No,
wasn't no
no, it
cheating,
was no
clean
like
win.
they did like a no like a version of the Trouble in Paradise mixed with like the Midnight Hour.
Okay.
That's what they
So
did.
so clean win. So
Clean.
why is there this rematch?
Yeah.
You book
Well,
this match,
you're not telling this story.
yeah, and there's no rematch clause, clearly. Or there is, I guess, when they can't write a story. I don't know why you just don't have the Revival coming out there and just cutting some promo and then have the New Day come out and then you have Undisputed Era come out. That would have, and then, they could have jumped, the 4 of the WWE main roster guys. They could have jumped them, beat them up, and then ran away.
Yeah.
To
Like do
me,
something
like
different. It's like you
like I
have the
said,
tools. Do something different.
book a match like I got a freaking pea bouncing around in my head, like I'm brain dead.
Mhm.
There's no reason that there was a I don't know if you thought, which clearly they don't think ahead, but if you would have thought, man, we're gonna have to book this match next week because we want to have this attack from the Undisputed Era, why couldn't you have it where one of their foot was on the rope? Do like Angel Garza.
Yeah.
Have it where, whichever one of the Revival got pinned, have his foot be on the ropes. And the ref didn't see it. And then whichever one was on the outside, it's like, no, his foot, you messed up. And then they say next week we want a rematch. Then at least the story's there. It's a
But they,
it's a shit excuse, but at least it's an excuse that makes sense.
at least you have a reason to keep the match or the
Yeah.
feud. You you
But
you
then
can
we're seeing this.
reschedule the match.
Yeah. But we're seeing this match that didn't make sense in the first place to happen. They didn't fix the mistake that never should have been made in the first place by taking the Revival out of there. And they, Undisputed Era comes out and attacks them, kind of have some Survivor Series build. But to me, this match, when they first announced it, and it was the War Raiders, Undisputed Era, or the
And
Viking Raiders,
yeah,
whatever, and
and the
the
revival.
Revival, I said this match will steal the show. And I'm sure everybody else said that. So
Take
they
my
were
money.
like, so they
Take
were,
my.
so they said, no, it won't. And they got rid of it. So then they put the New Day in. And to me, I like Kofi. I like Big E. But like I said, Xavier Woods is my favorite. And I feel did they do this to screw the New Day? I mean, to screw the Revival because they didn't sign their contract, which they probably won't. Did they do this to say, Kofi, we're sorry we jobbed you out to Brock Lesnar in 2 seconds. So here's the tag belts instead. Who knows what the reason is? All I'm going to say is when the New Day got inserted into this match, my interest got taken out. I do not care one bit about this match because they're probably going to go off how the Undisputed Era was beat up from the night before. They're probably going to get hit with Thor's hammer and be done.
I hope that I hope that like the match is good, but like you made a really great point when you said in the NXT review that is there in the channel, so please watch it. Don't be running away from the videos. Watch. You said like how is like the what is the health of all the wrestlers that are going to be part of War Games
Mm-hmm.
going into Sunday. So
And
that's a,
apparently, is this the Survivor Series Raw team versus SmackDown team? Is there an NXT team for the
I
men?
we have not heard that yet.
Because they said there's an NXT team for the women. Who's left?
Oh yeah,
Xia Li?
Zaya Lee, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
like well, they have Scarlet. No, but like the,
No, no, no.
I don't even know. I don't even
That's
know.
what I
They
mean.
said that like the team as of now. See, the one thing is like when it comes to the women, we will touch that aspect when it comes to that because it's kind of weird because it's like you guys are friends on the main roster and then you guys are like still
Yeah, no,
feuding
yeah,
each
yeah,
other.
yeah. We'll get there when we
So
get
that
there.
was like
But
kind of to me like that was like a little stupid. And then you see that there's no continuity when it comes to WWE. They have a backstage segment with Daniel Bryan, Shinsuke Nakamura, Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is saying, "You gotta join us. You gotta join us. You can be legit with us again." And Daniel Bryan is like, "No, because you were the very first one that ran away when the Fiend attacked me." And I said, "I know you. Who can join your team?" And he's like, "Who?" Braun Strowman. He's like, "Oh." Sami Zayn goes, "I will never join that. I will never put Braun Strowman with us. He's trash." Out there, Braun Strowman again. So trashy TV, we don't even care. Like you said, the match with the New Day and the Revival, good match. Back and forth. This is the same match that they put like last week. The
mm.
only thing is Shattered Dreams. They were about to win the titles back again, but Kofi
Oh,
makes
the
the
Shatter
save.
Machine.
Yeah, the Shattered match. Yeah, the Shattered Machine. My bad. It's not Shattered Dreams. It's Goldust. I'm sorry, Shattered Machine. And Kofi makes the save. He jumps from the top rope. Out of a sudden, Undisputed Era comes out, interrupts the match, and then they attack both the New Day and the Revival.
Mm.
Nothing else there.
Yeah, that's what I
Nothing
mean.
else there.
It sets up to they attacked, but you know it isn't like they screwed over the New Day, and like I don't they caused a no contest. Like I don't know what, and they beat the guys up. They did whatever they did, but it's like, what does that prove?
Oh yeah, like
To
it
me, like,
didn't do
yeah,
anything for what's gonna happen
yeah.
this
To me,
Survivor
to me,
Series.
I feel like this tag team match is just the air sucked out of it. Nobody cares anymore. Just let it go. Don't build towards it anymore because there is no build. It's dead. You're like trying to revive, like, I don't know, you're trying to revive something that's been dead for years. Like, there's
Oh
no
yeah,
chance.
like the tag team division has been really dead for years.
Mm.
It's not interesting anymore, and the fact that you put the titles on the New Day once again
Yeah.
killed all the mojo. These guys don't need to be in every single tag team championship match. Not even going, in feuds with like Raw, NXT. These guys need a break from
Hmm.
any marquee pay-per-view, anything big. They
But
just
like,
need a freaking break.
and also in this show, we'll just touch on it real quick because it literally has nothing of importance. When Heavy Machinery, they came out and they squashed that team. What was it? Kip Stevens and Kevin Timms. It says here. So so
It was just a squash match.
you have Heavy Machinery in a squash match when you could have Heavy Machinery in. I mean, it could still be, maybe a 5-6 minute match. Doesn't have to be long, but can be kind of competitive. Put them against somebody like the B team. At
Oh
least
yeah.
you have a tag team here. Why do we need to see jobbers when you're jobbing out an actual tag team in a segment that doesn't need to exist? At least put them in the role that they're slated for, a tag team.
Why don't they do make more sense, right? You want to have the Revival challenging for a rematch, right? Number one contender, Heavy Machinery against the Revival. Wouldn't that be more interesting?
I mean, it would be, but I know I don't like it where it's like, oh, I lost, so let me challenge one person, beat them, and now I'm number one contender. To
But
me,
see,
it's
at
like,
least you're not challenging the
yeah.
champ.
But that's what I'm. To me, none of it makes sense. There's the only way you can have it that it makes sense is you just fire everyone who's in charge
Oh yeah,
and
well, yeah,
just let
very
Triple H
quick.
do it.
Otis, Caterpillar, nice, and then the compactor for the win.
But wait,
Do we
back
care?
no.
No. Do we
So
care? Absolutely not.
to the segment where you said about Nakamura and then Strowman and all that, people were saying that there could be a feud between the two of them. If they're gonna do it, do it. Have Strowman because Fox is hot on Strowman. Vince McMahon, WWE, everyone in creative is hot on Braun Strowman. Have him beat Nakamura. Put the belt on Strowman. Do whatever you want with Braun Strowman. And please, for the love of God, just move Nakamura to NXT. Just move him back down to NXT, and he'll be
Nakamura needs
amazing.
NXT time because Nakamura is legit. I love Shinsuke Nakamura. He's one
Yeah,
of the greatest wrestlers. I mean, he's getting old, yes. He's a little slow. His run has not been good, but because of WWE's fault.
yeah,
He
because
came
it's all
legit.
booking. It's all booking.
Don't you remember the theme song when it was down,
Yeah,
down, 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 down,
and when
down?
a
He's
guy came
legit.
out and played it live,
When the
yeah,
violin player came out,
yeah, that was legit.
outstanding. But that was Triple H telling you, I know how to produce
Hmm.
legit TV. I know how to produce something that is going to make people wanting to see this more and more.
Yep.
So it's just terrible. It's just terrible, and hopefully they don't give the belt to Braun Strowman. I don't want to
No,
see him
no,
as
no. Like I said,
IC
do I
champion.
want to see that? Absolutely. I'd rather see Shinsuke Nakamura kick Braun Strowman's head off
Oh yeah, well,
with a
one
Kinshasa
Kinshasa
and
and done.
done.
One
But
Kinshasa and done.
were they gonna book like that? No, he'll probably hit the Kinshasa and he'll kick out at a 1 count and they'll just murder that move. That move will be
Yeah,
killed.
yeah, but in that move, like you said, when he hit that, it was done because actually he's hitting that worse. I don't know if you noticed it, but like in NXT, he hit it with power. It
Yeah,
was brutal. Now he doesn't even hit it.
yeah.
So it's just terrible.
It's like a Riho Kinshasa.
Yeah, yeah, you see like the feather just going on like
Yep.
this. Well, the feather. Backstage segment. Bailey, you see the attack from Shayna Baszler twice. Same crap as like, both weeks. And then you see Sasha backstage with Bailey. Bailey says that like she has personal joy on like putting people down. She doesn't do it for the audience anymore. She doesn't do it for her opponents. She just doesn't care about anybody. And today she's gonna crush Nikki's dreams. So we get this match. Is we get a match. Sasha is outside. Then we get Bailey and Nikki Cross. The match doesn't even take place
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
because
breaks down right away.
it breaks down right away, and then you see the NXT girls. You
But
see Tegan Knox. You see Mia Yim. You see Rhea Ripley, and then you see somebody else also.
there's Tegan Knox, Dakota Kai,
Dakota Kai. There you go.
Ray Ripley, and Mia Yim.
Yeah,
Yep.
you see them. They come out and they start attacking everybody. And you see right away Shayna going after Bailey. They take them out. Then everybody's trying to take Sasha. But then out there comes the SmackDown women's. Dana Brooke.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki Cross is still there.
Yeah,
And
and
then also
Carmella.
Carmella.
Yep.
And then you see Fire and Desire. You see them for a little bit. I saw Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville. I saw her, and
Yeah,
then of course,
they came out towards the end after everybody was fighting and all that stuff, but they came out.
but then of course they
But
make a
yeah,
match.
yeah.
Then of course they make a match, and actually the worst thing of the match. I mean, the match was good. I don't know about you, but I love Tegan Knox,
Hmm.
the
Oh yeah, I
master of
mean
the
the match
Shining Wizard.
for you take 8 women, you put them in a match, it was decent for what it was. You know what I mean? Like it kind of wanted to make it seem like a Survivor Series match, but obviously there wasn't no like elimination. It was just a one fall victory. So obviously you couldn't make it as exciting and do as much stuff. So it did what it did. It was good for like what it was, 8 women, but you know, it
But to
wasn't
me, it's
anything
like,
spectacular.
wouldn't you save that thing for like the Survivor Series itself?
Yeah,
Just have, for
to me,
example, the three
yeah,
of them on the outside, and then just have Tegan Knox against Sasha Banks.
yeah. To me, you don't need to like show us a preview. It's not like this is a house show and it's like, oh, we need to practice what we're doing and show it
Yes.
all. Like to me, now this is a show we're seen by hundreds of thousands of people. You're just going to show us something now, like a dumbed down, dollar store, generic version, and then you're going to show us the legit version in 2 weeks. Why? When we see it here, why would we need to watch it again?
Why do we need to watch that again? That's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, Nikki Cross is the one that gets the pin. I mean, she's the one that pins
Yeah,
the
she pinned
NXT.
Dakota Kai, yep,
Yeah,
with
she
a
pinned
twisted
Dakota
knee.
Kai with a neck breaker,
Yep,
and the women from SmackDown win. Go ahead.
and that's the one thing. So you bring out all these women, and it's like, okay, you have Tegan Knox, Dakota Kai, Rhea Ripley, Mia Yim. They're all the faces, but there was Shayna Baszler.
Yeah,
So it's like, what? They be beating her up
yeah, and that's what I mean. That's the
because
continuity.
it's
You're
not
not
like they
making
brought.
sense.
Yeah,
You're not
to
making
me,
sense.
they should have just brought. To me, it should have just been the heel team, and then the heel team should have won. Or you should have brought all the faces out, and your main program should have just been Rhea Ripley and Sasha Banks, because that's what
Yes,
I want to see.
yes.
I want to see because to me, I was thinking about this earlier when I was thinking about SmackDown and stuff. Rhea Ripley, now she's way better than who I'm going to compare her to, but to me, she's like if you took China with Sable's looks from the
Oh,
Attitude Era.
oh
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
She's huge. Now
yes.
she's way better than China could have ever dreamed to be, but she's huge, but like she's gorgeous and she's legit. And, she's one of the best women that WWE has employed. And you make her this monster heel. And Sasha, she's small, but she's also really good in the ring. The underdog baby face, like the whole story's there.
Oh
So
yeah. You
that's
could
something
do.
I'd like to see in the future. And I know she was saying in the match, like, oh, yeah, like, we're NXT, we're NXT. Like, you could build the whole feud from that because Sasha could say, well, me and, the other women, we built NXT.
Yeah,
So,
I
like,
put NXT on the
yeah,
map, so
so
she
you're
could easily
only,
say that.
yeah, so you're only in the spotlight because I built that spotlight.
Yes, yes.
So there's a whole story there. But instead, they hopefully they focus on that in the future. But
I really hope they do. But like, I agree with you. The one point I wanna like actually enhance when what you say is like, if Shayna Baszler is coming out, shouldn't her team from Survivor Series, from the
yeah.
War Games come out? Where's Io Shirai? Bring Bianca Belair, Kylie Ray.
Mhm. Yeah, that's the thing. They could have like to me, I don't know. You could have just had all like you said, had all her team come out, or you could have just had them like maybe play Shayna Baszler's music, and then they're like, "Oh, here she comes," or something like that, and then it's like the faces come out and they're like tricking them, or
Yeah,
you do something to like screw them over. But you can't have that. Would be like, what if it was all of the heel team and then Rhea Ripley came out?
yeah.
That would make no sense.
And it still doesn't make sense because, like, for example, why is like Rhea Ripley like being friends with Shayna Baszler?
Yeah.
Why? It doesn't make sense. So that's when that's when
Yeah,
you
and
lose
to
even
me,
interest in
it
story.
wasn't like it was a 10-woman tag. It wasn't like Bailey was there, and it wasn't like Shayna Baszler was there involved. But it's still they were all together. They were all in the same area. So why wouldn't the heel, they're beating each other up? Why wouldn't you also just beat up Shayna Baszler?
Yeah,
Like
that's
you
that's
come
my
out,
that,
yeah. To me, it
that's
just
my
didn't make
biggest problem.
sense.
That's my biggest problem is like that the fact that like you didn't even acknowledge the war games when
Yeah.
you should have. For example, easy. Shayna Baszler is there. They kill all the SmackDown women. They beat him up, and then you go after Shayna Baszler because the
Yeah,
feud continues.
so
We're
to me,
friends here, but then
is that what it's going to be? Are you just going to take the face team, the baby face team from War Games? Is that going to be the team on Survivor Series? So to
I
me,
don't know. I don't know.
if that's the case, does that mean they're going to win at War Games, or are you going to make them lose twice? Because they're probably going to lose.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
but there is the Raw team, so that's what I mean. If all of these matches are like a triple threat to some extent, then I don't know what NXT would get out of it if they win this, because you normally wouldn't you think that you would get a first round draft pick or something?
And NXT actually has like the losing end because they have a night where they're going to be performing. So they're going
Yeah.
to be performing pretty much double duty. In
Yeah.
less than
So
probably in less than 12 hours, the 24 hours, they're going to have to do the same thing again. But we'll see. But for what it was, like you said, it was decent.
mhm.
That's the see. This is also already the second hour, so this is when it started to get a little decent for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. To me,
Um,
the only this is where the point of interest starts in the show was this match. It had the big awful like head scratcher with Shayna Baszler with the baby faces. But besides that, like I said, they teased Rhea Ripley and Sasha Banks and all this other stuff. But yeah, this is when the show started to go on
to
the
pick
up
up,
and up.
to
Yeah.
pick up, yes, yes. And
So
then
that
we have yeah, well, that's when you could actually. Okay, I was like, oh, I'm falling asleep. I'm like, okay, waiting on it. Oh, I saw Tegan Knox, and of course I got up. So I was like, good, that is good. Let's watch more SmackDown for my Rovic family, for all of you. And we have the main event or the last segment of the show, Miss TV. Miss TV, the Miz comes out. He calls Daniel Bryan out. Daniel Bryan, the Miz starts talking about Daniel Bryan. He's like, you lose your touch. You're not the same anymore. You were the champion not too long ago. And Daniel Bryan goes like, shut up, shut up.
mhm.
And then he talks about being mentally unstable. And then he mentions why he had to kill the Yes movement. Why he mentions why do I have to kick AJ Styles in the balls to become the WWE champion? Is because I'm mentally unstable. He goes, there's only few people like me that can understand what I go through, and one of them is the Fiend. He's mentally unstable. He doesn't care. He does things you don't know if you're talking to Bray Wyatt or you're talking to the Fiend, but it's like I don't really know why he attacked me. And then he's given the chance to start a feud, and the
Mhm.
Firefly Funhouse comes back again, and Bray Wyatt is in his Bray Wyatt gimmick. Oh, you're a very rude person, and especially because you're talking about somebody that is not even there. And then they end up setting the match for Survivor Series. So he says, "Let me in," and he's like, "The only reason that I can be fighting with you is if you give me a shot at the Universal Championship." Bray Wyatt just go, "Yes, yes,
Yep. And yep.
yes, yes, yes." So anyway, the match gets set up for Survivor Series. What are your thoughts about this whole segment?
I mean, I like, especially in the beginning when he's yelling at the Miz and all this stuff. It really like adds more to the Daniel Bryan character, where it's like, is he crazy? And the Miz, even though we said like he sucks and all this other stuff, he's good on the mic, and him and Daniel Bryan have chemistry together, at least in their promo work.
Oh yeah,
So I feel like that was a good segment for that. But then you go into this into the Firefly Funhouse, and now you're going into the backstory with Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt. And Bray Wyatt, he's running through all these people who wronged him, and I feel that who is there now? There's no Dean Ambrose anymore, so he can't beat him for when the Wyatt family feuded with the Shield, and now he's going to Daniel Bryan to when he was in the family, and then he left, and and all that when he that whole feud and all that. So now where do you go after this? I feel after he beats Daniel Bryan, which he probably will, they're gonna take it to Roman Reigns,
and that's the absolute
and to
most
me,
crappy thing to hear.
yeah. So they're they're doing this match. I feel like they're wanting to rush this and get it out of the way because they don't care about it because they're not invested in it, which is a shame because you could tell a great story. You could have really dragged this out. And to me, I would rather see this be the program, and you could book it where you get Daniel Bryan, I don't know if he wins the Royal Rumble, if you want to turn him face, and maybe he beats The Fiend. I don't know. You could do something because I feel if you really push Daniel Bryan, he's the one baby face that the crowd would pop and they would really believe if he beat The Fiend.
Yeah, like I
Because they're
see.
still behind him. No one's gonna cheer if Roman beats The Fiend. No one's gonna cheer if Braun Strowman beats him, Baron Corbin, Chad Gable, Ali. Nobody's going to care if any of these guys beat him.
And
Daniel
that
Bryan beats
and
him,
that's the thing. Yeah.
you know.
No,
I feel that's
I
the only person. So to me, I feel like they're just gonna run through this feud and then they're gonna do a long, slow build, watch Roman win the fucking Royal Rumble, and then he'll go against the Fiend.
and you know that like if he wins the Royal Rumble, we riot.
Hmm?
Okay,
That's what
we're gonna
so
riot.
to me, I would have rather see Daniel Bryan in that role. You have this feud, maybe start it here, but have neither guy on Survivor Series. This feud goes all the way until WrestleMania, where Daniel Bryan wins, and then Daniel Bryan can feud, and then he can feud with Roman Reigns, and they can have a match at SummerSlam.
And see that's easy booking and long term booking.
Because
I
they
would
never
agree with
really
you.
told that story. I mean, they kind of had it where Daniel Bryan, he was like, "Oh, I didn't try to kill you," and then he turned face and he teamed with Roman.
Oh, that was like that was the
To
absolute
me,
most crap.
they never had like a blow off. They never
They
had a
had
big major match. It was like a blow off match.
they had something decent. They had something intriguing. They had some kind. They have they have something going on cooking. They
Mm.
had something in that thing. When it comes to Roman, you were not sure who did it, and of course, like we all thought it was going to be Daniel Bryan because he was healed. You know, it will be good for his character. No, wrong,
Mm-mm.
wrong.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And
And
then
like,
of course he turns on Daniel Bryan, and the whole thing gets messed up.
yep,
They ruined that feud.
yeah, that whole they had it, and they had everybody interested, and then I don't know if they just got excited, they dropped the ball, they wanted to say fuck you to the fans, whatever it may be. It was awful. And I feel like this is going to be kind of the same. Now we're used to 2 3 week booking, so they'll be able to get this match over in the sense where like I'll still be excited to see it. It'll be one of the matches I'm looking forward to probably the most because it hasn't been ruined like the tag team match and all that other stuff. But to me, it should have been so much more. It should have
It
just
should have
been
been so much more.
to me
And
because
I would
I
have
I
waited.
love Daniel Bryan. Call me a Daniel Bryan Mark. Call me whatever you want. I don't give a shit. But to me, like I said, he's the only guy on SmackDown who I can get behind to beat the Fiend.
And only and now that you mentioned this, aside with Daniel Bryan, what other babyface is like really hot with the crowd?
None. Roman is like okay, but he's only okay. And as soon as he starts to get pushed in a main event role, you're
Then
gonna
it's done.
boo him
We're gonna go
because
back. We're gonna go
yeah.
back. You know who they dropped the ball and because they did the whole like draft and everything should have been Kevin Owens. I
Mm.
would have loved to see Kevin Owens against the Fiend.
Oh yeah.
That storyline
To
would have been
me,
even great.
to
He even
me,
put on Twitter. He
they
said, "I want to fight you."
they ruined Kevin Owens when you had Kevin Owens come out a couple, it might have been 2 months ago, whatever it may be, and he pretty much said everyone in the locker room is getting screwed over. People like Liv Morgan and Apollo Crews and all these other guys, you're screwing them over. You're not giving them a chance to Shane McMahon. And he's like, oh, we don't need to listen to what you have to say. To me, that's when he was starting to get hot. And then you had him, oh, Shane McMahon, I'm so sorry. I have a family. Can you please not fire me and not fine me? I need this money. You turned him from trying to be stone cold, you turned him into a pussy.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
me, he should have walked into Shane McMahon's office and he should have been like, oh, what are you doing here, Kevin? And he should have been like, I'm not paying no fine, and hit him with a stunner on his desk
And that should have been it.
and
Yeah.
done. And then you set up this match where he says, you don't want to pay a fine? Fine. I'm going to beat you so bad that you're out of WWE. And then they have a match, contract on the ladder, and Kevin Owens wins, and he's done. Kevin Owens still looks like a badass. He goes on, and, he can eventually challenge The Fiend. But nope, they ruined him, and then they bring him back. And what was he in a match? What was it, with the Street Profits?
Yeah, when the Street Profits and Seth Rollins
Yep. That,
and
like, who
Seth Rollins.
cares?
Who
Who
cares?
cares?
Yeah. How do you take your hottest guy on SmackDown Live. You don't even give him a championship opportunity. You don't put him in a major program, and then you just put him as a fourth member on like an eight tag match
Hmm.
for no reason.
Now,
So all of a sudden, you just gotta held their faces.
yeah. Now to go back to like why they chose Daniel Bryan and all that, I really like how Bray Wyatt's going after everybody from his past. Like I said, I like that. I wish they would focus more on it. Everything's kind of subliminal messages and hints. There's the pictures on the wall that he has with the eyes crossed out and everything. But I wish like the puppets would be like maybe talking about it like, oh, do you remember when, Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan used to be friends? And do you remember when Daniel Bryan was mean to Bray Wyatt? Like, I wish there was like,
play
the
it more.
puppets.
Play
Yeah,
it more.
yeah.
Be like fans. Talk about the past. Yeah,
But I guess that, yeah, because like Rambling Rabbit said how he was such a big Seth Rollins mark. He's like, oh, Seth, I'm your biggest fan and all that other bull crap. So to me, you could have him do that with this story, and they could, talk about when Daniel Bryan threw off his like prison outfit or whatever that was, and
yes,
he
when like he
climbed on
was
top.
member of the family, and
Yeah,
then he went back to being Daniel Bryan.
yeah, and he
Yeah,
was
they
on
could have
top of the
played a
steel
little more.
cage and all that stuff. So
I did like how like they were asking like the yes, and all the puppets, were saying like yes.
oh yeah,
Yes.
they all wanted him like to join them and to play with the puppets because it was almost like the Fiend was trying to suck Daniel Bryan back into his, into his group again.
Into the darkness, yes.
Which,
Yeah.
I mean, you could obviously do something where he beats Daniel Bryan, but he like drags him to hell, which we've seen that 100 times where they pull people through the ring.
Yep.
But then you could have it where Daniel Bryan's back in his family, and then maybe Daniel Bryan, you feud him with Roman Reigns, because I don't know, I just want to see this match apparently. But you do Daniel Bryan under Bray Wyatt's control,
Make it different. Make it different. Make it more creative.
Like let's see the family again, but do something different with it, and
I've
not the
been
Road
calling
Break
for
family.
I've been calling. Well, the Road Break
Yeah,
family.
the Road Break family. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe that's the family that you guys need to be, and you guys should always be. But like you said, I would like to see the whole Wyatt family back. Even put Strowman there. Even do Bo. Put Bo in the. That's his real brother.
Yep.
If he says he's the Wyatt family, put Bo in the family. He's freaking like his brother. Why can you guys, not put them together?
I mean, I understand if they don't want to do the family because that gimmick's been done, but I don't know. I feel like they need to focus more on the past, and they probably would if they would give this match more than 3 weeks build. But WWE doesn't know how to book anything past.
Doesn't know how to book anymore. They have to do things on the fly. So closing thoughts, Mr. John Paul. The show was not, great.
No, like this, the only thing, there's a slight build for Survivor Series, which they ruined it with the inconsistency between the two heel and face factions.
The NXT and the Takeover War Games and Survivor Series don't make much sense.
Yep.
So, well, this is the show that we had for you today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think that I hope that the go home shows are going to be better because we have three.
I have no faith in Raw being good at all. The only thing I care about on Raw's end is Brock Lesnar and Rey Mysterio, if I'm being honest with you.
That's legit. I'm invested on that. I'm hoping
to me,
that
don't even. There's a good chance that this will not happen, but don't even be surprised if the Undisputed Era comes out and they cost the Viking Raiders their match against Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins.
Oh my gosh! If that happens, I pray to God that doesn't. But if
the Undisputed Era could be screwing these teams over because they went against Did they go against the Revival?
The Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
No, not on.
I didn't think so. I didn't think. Yeah, I didn't think so.
The Revival was already in the main roster when the Undisputed Era.
So you could, but they went against the War Raiders, so they could think we don't want to go against these guys again. They'll kill us. So
we know over.
Let's screw them over because we're gonna have to wrestle War Games the night before. So let's screw them over and get them out of this match. But see, if that's what you're gonna do, which one, it'll piss me off because I won't see this match. But two, the match is already ruined. So if you would explain that in a promo, to me at least it makes sense.
Oh yeah, it does. It makes all the sense.
So to me, it's closing thoughts. If you're gonna ruin these matches, at least do something to make sense. But I feel like Survivor Series was slated to be the best pay-per-view of the year, and now I don't.
I don't even know. So thank you, Jean Paul Egg, for joining us. Thank you, Robert family, for watching. I hope all of you enjoy the weekend. We'll be back on Monday Night Raw. We have the WWE Backstage. We might do something about Bill Brooks coming back to his first thoughts on the WWE. Hopefully, like John Paul said in our video about CM Punk, hopefully he stays truthful to himself and he doesn't
Well, I think
become like a market.
because he's just employed by Fox. He's
So
not employed by WWE, so we'll see.
I'm ready to hear his thoughts.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
And we will have Dynamite, that it was great. Build up for the next year, and NXT will be there for War Games. We will be there for previews and predictions, and also Survivor Series. So guys, I hope you guys have a great Saturday. Make the best out of it. Goldberg never sleeps. So,